East Tennessee's own WDVX Hey Radio Land. It's your good buddy Colton Zenni, and here I am over in Carborough, North Carolina at the legendary Cat's Cradle, and I'm joined by Josiah and Luke from Jamgrasss Unit. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me for a bit today. How are you both doing?
Doing good.
We're doing good. Hanging in there.
Yeah, right in the middle of a long summer tour here.
Yeah,
Post-grad for you, a couple years post-grad for you, but the first big sort of extended trip on the road. How's summer tour going?
It's been going really good. I mean, we've been to pretty much every corner of the United States except for Alaska and Hawaii. So, I mean, we put a lot of miles beneath us, and I guess considering that, we're doing really, really well.
Yep.
I've been tuned into the MGU Road Delirium videos on Instagram. So I've been tuned into that, and I can only imagine, long. Are you guys in a van? Is that how you're getting around most places?
Correct, yeah.
That's long hours with the fellas, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Totally, yeah.
Is there anything that you guys like to do on the road to sort of pass the time as you're cruising around?
Man, so we, it kind of depends where we are, but we have a lot of long travel days, right? So a lot of the time we're all kind of just doing stuff on our computers, like editing videos. Josiah edits those Delirium vlogs.
Oh, yeah.
I edit a bunch of stuff from the night before, and we got to upload stuff to Nugs, Our tour manager, Reggie, is always sending emails.
Yeah.
That dude works so hard. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we're just sitting in a freaking Ford Econoline for like 7 hours a day. And
That's long hours.
it's long. We got the AC fixed this year, though, so
That's huge.
we good.
Especially cruising around down south during the
my
summer or
God,
out
man.
west, where I've seen you guys have done a number of dates out west, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's especially hard when you're like, last year we were in Phoenix and it was 118 degrees and the AC went out on our way to San Diego along with other issues, and that was so hot.
Now,
So it's good to have
guess
AC.
That's true road delirium right there. When the heat exhaustion sets in, headed down the road.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder, because you just finished school in May,
Yep.
and this is the first time. So has it felt different not doing sort of short runs or one-off shows in terms of the playing? Have you guys?
Oh man, yeah, it is just it's a lot different, but it's a lot similar because it still feels like I'm in that school world because Jury and I graduated, and we drove home. Took us 2 days to drive home, and we had about 2 or 3 days before we hit the road, and ever since then it just feels like we've been going, constantly going, and just new things have been happening, and it's just so fast. So I feel like I haven't really necessarily had that break point yet where it's like, okay, now I'm officially somewhere else. It just still feels like I just graduated and it's another summer tour,
Right.
But it's different, it's different because we're not having to fly in between school. Like, we'd fly to Winter Wondergrass, play like 5 sets, completely exhaust ourselves, hop on the plane last minute. Before I know it, I'm like in class Monday morning,
Professor
drinking a
sending you an
Celsius.
email. You've got
Yeah.
assignments due.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it is, it's a lot better that I don't have that weight on my shoulders, or at least I know I don't have that weight on my
Right.
shoulders anymore.
Well, y'all would be in school right now.
Yeah, true.
Today.
So we wouldn't be able to even go this long of a tour. We still have an extra month left of touring, pretty much.
So you guys have been on the road from May until what will be the end of September, pretty much?
I mean, pretty much. There's been probably we had that one break. It was about a week and a couple of days. And then we had that other break that was about 6 days or so, I think. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, something like that.
So it's at full pull for you guys. And I want to sort of rewind and learn about both of you and sort of your histories with music. Do you guys come from musical families? Was music a part of your life growing up? And when did you first start playing?
Yeah, so both of my grandparents, or both of my grandfathers that I have were musical. So on my mom's side, my grandpa was a truck driver and would listen to a lot of music, but he also played guitar and sang country music. And then on my dad's side, my grandpa was a pianist and would play in church and, loved big band music. And then my mom signed me up for fiddle lessons just because she loved the music. And then eventually I got taken to bluegrass festivals and when I first started, I was playing competition Texas style fiddle.
Yeah.
Going and doing that, and then my great aunt and uncle, actually, so my grandfather, my mom's side's brother and his wife, took me to a bluegrass festival in Denver called Midwinter, which is still going on. It was run by my grandpa and his brother's childhood best friend from Missouri, actually. And I kind of just fell in love with it. I met kids my age who were doing the music, and then I saw Michael Cleveland, and I was like, I want to be able to figure out how to. That's really cool. I want to do that. And so fast forward until I graduated high school, I joined a chuck wagon dinner theater, which I have a few uncles who did that at different ones in Colorado, and then I decided after I was already doing a few years of school at Colorado State University, I was like, I want to go actually learn this and pursue it. So I moved out to East Tennessee, where I went to East Tennessee State.
Yeah. So you were born into bluegrass and have been playing bluegrass music pretty much your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how about you, Luke? Were you sort of born into a musical family playing bluegrass since a jit?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's kind of similar to Josiah's story, but both my parents didn't play music, but they wanted me to learn how to play an instrument. So me and my brother started taking lessons, and that's kind of how I got launched into the bluegrass world. So my parents don't play music, but I have a lot of extended family that plays. My great grandfather was a jazz musician in Alabama, and he actually wrote music for Hank Williams' band.
Wow.
Legit.
So he was a professional musician.
He was a professional musician. I never got to meet him. He was my great grandfather.
Right.
Yeah, his name was Bill Haynes. So it's definitely in the family, and I have cousins who play and stuff. But I went to this music store, and me and my brother both played. I chose to play the banjo almost as a joke.
Yeah.
But then I started.
About what age were you?
I was probably 7, so first grade.
So very young, very young.
Yeah, and I didn't really get behind it because I didn't listen to the music. I listened to I think I knew what Rocky Top was and Foggy Mountain Breakdown.
Hey,
so
we're out of Knoxville. Let's say go Vols on that Rocky Top. I know a bunch of you boys are. Well, you're out of Alabama, except for you're out of Colorado.
Yeah,
that's right. And is it Sam who went to?
Sam went to Bama.
To Bama.
Yeah.
Well, we'll forgive him for that. We're like I said, we're out of Knoxville, So what about then your early musical influences? I always think that's interesting because you can often hear someone's early influence, on their playing. So what was the first sort of music that you kind of latched onto? Was it bluegrass or was it something different?
Well, going into those fiddle lessons, there was a lot of Western swing that I was listening to because that was some of the material you would be playing at that. But I was kind of thinking a few days ago about this, and I remember when I first got my first iPod Touch, and I could go on iTunes, and my parents got me an iTunes gift card.
That's big. You get that $25 iTunes gift card for Christmas or something?
Man, that was the best gift every
Big
time. And, oh man, it made me so happy every time I would get that. But I remember I got it right before going to Weezer, which is kind of the big fiddle contest for Texas style in Weezer, Idaho, the National Old Time Contest. And I remember right before that trip, I bought my very first record, and that record was Uncaged by, I can't remember the name of it, but it was, I remember Uncaged by Zach Brown was on that.
Yeah.
So that whole Zach Brown record, I remember hearing all that fiddle playing on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just this kind of shreddy fiddle playing, because at that time, Zach Brown was almost a jam band.
Right.
He was country music, but he was really jamming everything out.
Well, they do, Allman Brothers numbers live and everything, yeah.
And so I listened back to that stuff now, and there's so many of those licks that they're just so ingrained in me. So there's a lot of that, and of course, Tony Rice and a lot of the bluegrass, legends of that, and as well as Punch Brothers and String Dusters.
Feely and them, yeah.
Feely and it's Jeremy Garrett from the String Dusters, who all-time hero, So I think those were my real early influences for fiddle playing.
So it's always been sort of, bluegrassy or grass adjacent.
Bluegrass or jam adjacent, really. Genuinely, yeah.
Yeah, and what about you?
Yeah, man, so I'm a classic guitar player story, dude. I started falling in love with Jimi Hendrix, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan shortly after that was just insane to me. But through the bluegrass world, I kind of got exposed to some of those Tony Rice unit cuts, almost the instrumental ones.
Right.
And then I started like just deep diving on YouTube, and I found like that Whitewater video of Tony Rice, like the All-Star Jam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen that, and it's just like, golly, just raw power. Then of course, like I actually saw bluegrass live for the first time. I saw my soon-to-be guitar teacher perform at this festival called the Acoustic Cafe.
Who is that?
Alan Tolbert. He sat in with us last night, man.
Nice.
And it was so much fun, dude. But I saw him play live, and it was incredible. And I was telling him that last night. I was like, dude, I'm just so glad that people get to see you perform for the first time, because I remember watching you and thinking, like, how does he do this? How is he coming up with this on the spot? And like, it's so inspirational. So I took lessons with him, and he got me into that whole world, and I started listening more. And then, of course, I saw Billy Strings in 2018 or 19. Front row, just, oh my God, blew my mind, man. It was just insane.
Billy came to play for us at WDVX. I think he played twice for us at the station in 2016 and 2018.
Oh, man.
So early on, I think one of the shows was with Don Julian when he was with that outfit. But so it was sort of, you kind of had a more classical or a classic guitar approach, you know,
Totally.
the sort of rocker legends.
Dude, I got that Fender Twin for Christmas one year.
Son.
I was sold, man. I was just trying to figure out all the Stevie Ray Vaughan licks and like Jimi Hendrix, and then I got really into like Eddie Van Halen.
So kind of shreddy stuff.
Oh, totally. And I went
that translates really well to bluegrass, the
It
fast
does.
playing.
Dude, totally, yeah. Especially some of that metal stuff. And I got real into like the riffy metal stuff, like kind of like the chuggy stuff. And I think that's why I like the mashy style of bluegrass, like
that
real
mash grass.
rhythmic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, well, I want to ask then, because you're both, clearly outstanding musical talents, clearly talented enough to make a space for yourself in music, playing any kind of music that you choose. So my question for you is, why bluegrass? Why focus on bluegrass?
Man,
I think it was the festivals growing up. There was always like this really accepting community, and you know, I would go to like big one I would go to every year with my family was Winfield, and showing up, and no matter what skill level you were, it was like everybody was always excited for you to come and pick a tune with you, and always include you in these jam circles, and that's at every level of you know, the music. I feel that it's like, you know, whether they're top of the top professionals or just like campfire pickers, it's like always so accepting.
There's like an earnestness and a real feeling of community and acceptance, and together. The magic is being together, to play together, to hear music played together.
I guess it's just really a sense of belonging to it. I mean, like I don't know, I always felt like I was in the right place. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think the sense of community and like is stronger in it's stronger in bluegrass than any other genre out there. But I also think I kind of fell into the bluegrass world just because, like, playing gigs, I've played in like multiple rock bands in high school and stuff, and like it's just loud and annoying. Like, we got our start kind of playing in smaller bars, you know, like restaurants and stuff. And like when we told them that we're a 3-piece acoustic band, we got hired way more than we did with like the massive rock band.
5-piece, real full drum set.
Me with my Fender Twin wheeling that thing in, dude. People were panicking.
You're gonna blow everyone's ears out.
I was just, and I cranked that thing all the way up, you know.
So let me ask a follow-up question to why bluegrass, right? Yeah. Because I'm sure you guys know, everybody in the bluegrass community knows that there is a particular brand of bluegrass fan out there, or perhaps bluegrass players out there, maybe called grassholes, that feel that it's got to be a certain way. It's got to be true. They say, oh, well, Mr. Bill Monroe didn't want it played like that, or whatever. So why gravitate like you guys have towards the sort of Jamgrasss?
I kind of laugh at that because my mom used to like be self-proclaimed grasshole, and I just because I told her what that term was, and she's like, well, I think maybe I am, because she used to really only listen to the traditional stuff until I guess I started playing in, you know, some more progressive bands, and I started introducing her to more, you know, Billy Strings and String Dusters.
Yeah.
But the reason, I mean, I think there is a little bit of an exclusionary thing that's a little bit the opposite of what I was talking about earlier with the community. There is, and especially like, you know, I live in Johnson City, and there is definitely a big crowd of that trad You know, like if you're not doing it like Ralph Stanley or like Bill Monroe or
Man,
Earl
that's up there near
Scruggs.
Mountain City and all that.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. And it's like, which I love all that stuff, and
Sure.
I love playing it, but it's like, there's more to the music than that, and like, the here and now. It's like you go to a Billy Strings show or any kind of progressive show, and it's like, I don't know, it's just that attitude is not like so closed in. It's more like, well, what can we do beyond that?
Where can we push the music to?
Totally, yeah.
What about you? Why Jamgrasss?
Man, well, I feel like you get that with any genre, though. There's going to be those people who are kind of gatekeeping it. But, Jamgrasss is something that's new, or relatively new.
Right.
And I think that's what keeps music going. It's just that element of surprise and something that's different, it's constantly evolving and stuff. And the term Jamgrasss, even there's like different types of Jamgrasss.
Can you define Jamgrasss
Dude,
in your own words? Like, what is Jamgrasss?
It's something that's, I think it's played with acoustic instruments, can sometimes have drums, but I think it's got to have some sort of elements of bluegrass in there, right? So just like it's got to have at least that feel, sometimes that feel, so it doesn't have to have it every song. But like I was saying, I think there's multiple genres already forming inside Jamgrasss now.
Spacegrass, progressive bluegrass.
Totally, man. Yeah, it's all in there, and I feel like it's still like branching off. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. How would you describe Jamgrasss?
It's, I guess, the mentality behind how bands would create, maybe say, a set list of, ever evolving set list instead of just playing the exact same songs every night. And, more so, there's more variation, and instead of just, the dynamics always, once a song starts, it's a wall of sound, it's always going, and then until the song ends, there's maybe a little more going on dynamically.
There's a rise and fall, energy rises and falls.
And a lot, not all of it's extended jam stuff, but there's an element of the extended jam, that you can
there's always
follow.
that element of like you don't know exactly where it's going to go,
right?
And like that's the reason why people love it, is because you create something in the moment. I feel like
exactly. And something that I always, as a huge enjoyer of jam music, whether it's jam bands, the Dead, or it's the modern jam bands today, or if it's Jamgrasss, Phil Lesh of the Dead spoke about, there's really an element that you could fail. You're improvising, you're trying something new. Like you said, you don't know where it's gonna go, and there's an element where it could really not work out. But when it does work out, I feel like it's genius in real time on the stage.
Dude, that's what I feel like as a musician. I feel like we all strive for that moment, for when it does work, because we've all had that moment, whether it's in some dude's basement at 2 a.m. or whether it's on stage. Like, that is possibly the best feeling you can ever have, is when things just line up and you know that energy is going somewhere special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember I was sitting at my old house with a couple of my buddies, Nick and Justin, who are both fantastic musicians, and we used to just go and sit, and then one of us would just play something, and we would just, free improv for, 20, 30 minutes straight, and every time we would play it and just see what happens, and at the end we'd have to just put our instruments down because we're like, man, we're never going to be able to do that one again, because it really was just in the moment, and you just let it happen.
Right, right. So I want to, and I don't want to take up too much more time here, but I want to talk about sort of what it's felt like on the Mountain Grass unit trajectory. From an external point of view, I know you guys exploded onto my radar after renewal, that which was pretty much a year ago. And it feels like since then, you guys have been on a rocket ship. I think about it's kind of funny, but in March, the meme page HeadyNet, the jam band March Madness. You guys top Kitchen Dwellers, who have been in the game forever, Goose and the Disco Biscuits, and of course, we're talking about Instagram page Jam Band March Madness. But did it feel good to get that recognition, or kind of be like, wow, we've really made it? Like, people are seeing us big time.
It's weird. I think the renewal thing like we've noticed has just been insane. Like people will come up to us in random towns and cities like, I saw you at Renewal, like, you know, thank you for doing that. I'm like, dude, we just got handed an opportunity, and we got up there and played, and it turned into this huge thing. But yeah, we've noticed ticket sales are going up. It's crazy. Social media interactions have been
have like
insane.
A ton of followers.
Yeah, followers are coming in, which is great and all. But it's just so cool to see. The best part is seeing people sing our originals along with us each night. Like, it's just something I never would have imagined. And
how long ago did the record Running from Trouble, right?
Yeah,
When did that drop? That was
A little less than a year ago. It was in middle of September last year.
And was Cicada Song on that, or is
it
that?
Was, yeah.
So that was a single off that
Yeah.
as well. And I mean, what a hit too. And do you see folks at shows responding to your originals?
Dude.
Yeah,
it's wild.
A few nights ago, we were playing at the Georgia Theater down in Athens, and I think we kicked off with Where I Land, which is an original, and just seeing the crowd go nuts over this original song was just kind of unbelievable. And they all knew all the words, and it's like,
it's cool. It's like some of these are actually speaking to people, and they enjoy listening to it.
I remember last summer I can't remember which song it was, but we uploaded a show to Nugs, and 2 days later, it was the first time we'd I think it was Cicada Song on there.
Yeah.
And a couple days later, people showed up to a show and already knew the words to it, and I was like, "What the heck?"
The song wasn't released yet
I know.
either. It's just Nugs has been a huge supporter too as well. They've been a big help, and they were streaming Renewal, I guess, when we were there.
Right. I mean, I love your guys' stuff on Nugs.
Thank you.
Just the ability to catch shows that you missed is just and what I want to say about your original songs is I think when you hear a song in isolation is one thing, but when you hear a song that is new, that is original, stacked next to songs that are classics, that are bona fide greats, like a Midnight Rider, and you're able to do Cicada Song, Midnight Rider, and like you guys do on Nugs, that's one of my favorites off of Nugs. It holds up so well. Some songs sort of pale in comparison, next to a classic, the writing of the classic, but your guys' work is standing up. I think we call that an instant classic, right?
Oh man, I appreciate that.
I want to ask, and just as we wind down here, does it feel like Jamgrasss, sort of as a genre, is having a moment in the sun?
It
100%.
does. It definitely does to us. I mean, we're in it, so
I would say that you guys are at the forefront of it.
Oh, dude,
really.
I appreciate that. It does. It definitely feels a lot more severe to us because we're playing in a band and stuff. But I do think it is. I think it's having a big rise, and Billy Strings obviously hauling it right now.
Absolutely. You see the stuff that Sierra Hull was doing with the brothers, with Warren Haynes and those guys, and
especially like post-COVID. I mean, pre-COVID, I'd go to Jamgrasss shows, and there was a community there definitely for a long time, but it's just like a whole new. Especially the younger audience is just like exploding right now. It's kind of unbelievable.
Well, I think that whole time period, 2020, gave people it was a disruption for everybody, but I think it gave people sort of license to break away from a scene that is generic, or that is the top 40 scene, the pop culture scene, and I think that there were people who were like, this stuff really isn't for me, and started looking for a more earnest community like the bluegrass world. And I think, like I said, you guys are absolutely at the forefront of that. And before I let you guys go, you got about another month to go here during summer tour. Where are you guys going to be stopping in? Where can folks go out and see you guys?
I guess we'll be Roanoke, Charlottesville, Washington, D.C.,
be in Rhode Island. We'll be
Vermont.
Going up the East Coast.
Boston, New York. Yeah, just kind of Maine, Portland, Maine,
New York.
Burlington, Vermont, just all over. Yeah, we're kind of doing the East Coast whole run right now.
Where are you bringing it in for a landing?
IBMA, I guess.
IBMA in Chattanooga.
Nice. So you're bringing it back close to home. Is there any new work that the folks out there in Radio Land can be looking forward to? Are you guys writing songs, studio time coming up after this tour?
We're planning to, do some stuff in the studio after this tour. We've been writing a ton of new originals. We've been playing a couple of new originals as well out here on the road, just getting reactions.
Testing them out and putting them on notes and seeing what people say.
And where can everybody find your music? Where can they find Jamgrasss on socials? And where can they find you guys online?
It's all over the place, man. Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. We're everywhere, music-wise. And then for social media, just search up Jamgrasss Unit. You'll probably find us pretty fast.
Pretty much everything, yeah.
Sweet. Guys, well, I appreciate you for hanging out with me. It's your good buddy Colton Zenni right here on Uncle John's Marble City Jam. I've been joined by Josiah and Luke from Jamgrasss Unit. Thanks again, guys, and have a killer show tonight.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
We're clear.